Something went terribly wrong. On the frozen slopes of Kolat-Syakhl, the mountain of the dead, 9 experienced hikers. They sliced their tent open from the inside, a desperate, panicked escape. They fled into the howling Siberian blizzard. Temperatures plummeted to -30°C. Darkness consumed them. They ran, some without shoes, others barely clothed. What terror could make them do this? What unseen force propelled them into the lethal embrace of the Ural Mountains? The wind screamed like a banshee. Snow swirled, a blinding white chaos. They were alone, miles from any sign of safety. This was supposed to be an adventure, a test of skill and endurance, not a flight for their lives. The night of February 1st, 1959, a night that would become a legend. A dark, perplexing mystery. 9 souls vanished into the snow, leaving behind only questions. Igor Dyatlov led the group. He was 23, a student at the Ural Polytechnical Institute, an experienced ski hiker. He had assembled a strong team, 8 men and 2 women, mostly fellow students and engineers. All were fit, capable, and brave, ready for a challenge. Their journey began with hope. Their goal was ambitious, a Grade 3 expedition, the highest difficulty rating for sports trekking in the Soviet Union. They aimed to traverse the northern Urals, reaching Mount Otorten. It was a test of their limits, a chance to prove their mettle. They carried cameras and kept diaries documenting their progress. Their early entries were cheerful. One member, Yuri Yudin, fell ill. He turned back early in the expedition, pain in his leg, a sciatic nerve acting up. He said goodbye to his friends. He wished them luck. He would be the only one to survive, the only one to return. Weeks passed, no word from the Dyatlov group. They were overdue. Worry began to set in. Families and friends grew anxious. A search operation was launched. Planes scanned the vast white expanse. Volunteer search parties on skis, hoping to find them safe, praying against the worst. On February 26th, they found it. The tent, perched on the exposed slope of Kolat-Syakhl, partially collapsed under snow. But it was the way they found it. That sent a chill down their spines. It had been sliced open, cut from the inside with a knife, a desperate exit. Inside the tent things were strangely orderly, shoes and warm clothing left behind. Plates of food uneaten, maps and diaries. The hikers' belongings were mostly there, as if they had planned to return. Section 4. The grim tableau unfolds. The first bodies were found under a tall, ancient cedar tree, Yuri Krivonyshenko and Yuri Doroshenko. They lay side by side, barefoot and dressed only in underwear. The remains of a small fire nearby, branches broken from the cedar up to 5 meters high. Someone had tried to climb it, perhaps to see the tent or something else. 3 more bodies were discovered between the cedar tree and the tent. Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, Rustem Slobodin. They seemed to be crawling back toward the abandoned shelter. Slobodin had a fractured skull, but the cold was the likely killer. Hypothermia. They had fought hard, but the mountain was relentless. 2 months later, the final 4 were found in a ravine, buried under 13 feet of snow as the spring thaw began. Nicholas Thibaut Brignol, Lyudmila Dubinina, Alexander Kolovatov, Semyon Zolotaryov. These discoveries brought new horrors and deeper, more disturbing questions. Their injuries were severe. Section 5. Riddles etched in ice and bone. What could cause such horrific injuries? Internal damage, yet skin unbroken. Investigators were puzzled. An avalanche was an early theory, but the tent was not buried deeply. Its poles were still standing. The cuts were from inside. Footprints led away, not signs of being swept. Some items were undisturbed on top of the tent. The avalanche theory didn't quite fit. Then there was the radiation, traces of radioactivity found on some of the hikers' clothing. Where did it come from? Were they exposed to something? Military tests were rumored in the area. Secret weapons, rocket launches. Could they have stumbled upon something they weren't meant to see? The authorities were tight-lipped. Paradoxical undressing, a known symptom of severe hypothermia. Victims feel incredibly hot. They remove their clothes. This could explain the state of some bodies. but not the internal injuries, not the missing tongue, not the sheer terror that started it all. Some spoke of infrasound. Section 6 echoes on Dead Mountain. The official investigation concluded swiftly. The cause of death, a compelling natural force, a vague and unsatisfying explanation. It explained nothing and everything. The case files were quickly sealed, classified, hidden from public view. For decades, the truth remained buried, like the hikers in the snow. Families grieved without closure. Questions lingered. Why the internal injuries? What was the source of the radiation? Why was Dubinina's tongue missing? What caused such profound terror? Theories continued to circulate. Books were written, documentaries made. Each tried to piece together the puzzle. The Dyatlov Pass incident became a global enigma, a chilling testament to the unknown. In recent years, some files were reopened, new investigations launched, but definitive answers remain elusive. The mountain keeps its secrets well. Kholat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead.